June 1st, 2022. A day that will live forever in the history of popular culture. A day when a months-long ordeal was finally resolved. A day when a beleaguered man was finally vindicated.
In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Mr. Depp's claim against Ms. Heard. 1. As to the statement appearing in the online op-ed entitled, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath.
I was actually thinking of something different.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
Cookie.
Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend.
You have been the one. You have been the one for me.
So, everyone heard the news last week about Stephon Tuitt's retirement, and to be honest, the writing was already on the wall. I mean, he hadn't played football in a year. A lot of stuff had happened to him during a short period of time, and honestly, the Steelers were already preparing for him to not play, even though some people had expressed optimism that he was going to. But to hear him retire, it's not that surprising. But yeah, we got the official announcement last week. Stephon Tuitt just thanked the Steelers organization, thanked everyone for all their support and for everything the organization gave him after this 8 years. And it's really sad to see him step away because, came into the league as a second-round pick out of Notre Dame, had a lot of potential. Obviously, first of all, with his frame, a unique player, 6'6", 300 pounds, long arms. He fit perfectly in the Steelers' 3-4 defensive system. He was a guy who, as we started to transition more to nickel defenses, he was a guy who really made that scheme work with his ability to take on multiple blockers in the run game, be disruptive with those long arms, and just wreak havoc in the backfield, create penetration. He was always solid, always reliable, originally just a great run defender, but then throughout his career developed an amazing array of pass rush moves. He had one heck of a swim move, let me tell you. And that all came to fruition in the 2020 season, where he not only showed his run-stopping prowess, but he ended up with 11 sacks, and people really thought that was going to be his breakout season. A lot of people, including me, thought he should have made the Pro Bowl that year. But after that season, everyone touted that season as his breakout year, and it's just unfortunate with the knee injury that he suffered during training camp the next year, and then obviously the tragic loss of his brother took a physical and, most importantly, mental toll on him, and you see why it was the right decision for him to step away. So, my heart goes out to Stephon Tuitt, a great guy, great leader, and a great player to watch during my time as a Steelers fan. He will be missed on this defense. He was one of the key cogs by the end of his time in Pittsburgh, and guys like that don't get replaced often, not only on the field, but in the locker room as well. So yeah, my heart goes out to him. But at the same time, the Steelers are well-stocked to replace him. Again, with their switch to more nickel defense, they only play the 2 down linemen, and obviously Cameron Hayward's a mainstay at one of the D-tackle positions, and then really the Steelers not having Tyson Alualu last year really made a big difference, as the Steelers were pretty bad against the run the whole season after Alualu got hurt in week 2. So having him back as a solid, reliable run stopper will really help to mitigate that loss. And then also having younger guys like Isaiah Loudermilk, who's sort of built in the same mold. He was a guy who played some semi-regular reps last year as a result of our injuries. He's a guy who we could look to take a step forward. And then obviously DeMarvin Leal, the 3rd-round pick out of Texas A&M this year. Again, built in a lot of the same mold as Tuitt, tall, long arms, a guy who can play inside and rush the passer. Really just waiting on him to grow into the NFL mindset more. Obviously put weight on that frame. He's only 283 pounds listed at, so you'd like to see him gain like 15 to 20 more pounds. He's going to take a little bit of time to develop, but I think he could really help step in and play that Tuitt role as he continues to develop. We'll see how he does in OTAs and training camp and preseason this year. So we do have options to replace him. It's not like it's an irreplaceable loss, but at the same time, it is a big deal because Stephon Tuitt's one of those guys who is a long tenured player, a leader, and just a great overall player. And it sucks that we won't be able to have him anymore in a Steelers uniform, but you understand why he had to step away. And it was all for the best. So my best wishes to him on his life outside of football. And as Chuck Noll said, hopefully he succeeds in his life's work.